Hello everybody, my name is Cameron Earl, and welcome back to Marvel Villainous, the Marvel Villainous Summer of 2025 tournament. There we go. Alright, so in the last episode, we left off with Killmonger flying high right now, getting really close to winning. Masque not even started yet, unfortunately got her event pulled on her by Killmonger, I'm pretty sure it was, and Doc Ock hasn't really started the game yet either, but I think he's in a little bit of a better spot than Masque. So, left off on Killmonger's turn last turn. I'm pretty sure her last turn he defeated Black Panther, and now he has the ability to send explosives to other players' boards. So, let's see here. It's Masque's turn. Not much she can do until she gets that event out of her way. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Manhattan, and I'm going to move the Syndicate over. That gives me enough strength to destroy that event. 6 strength. No one gets out alive. The reward is I gain 1 Vendetta and 3 power, which is pretty cool. Give me de money. Alright, there's 3 power, and I gain a Vendetta. Unfortunately, that was a 6 strength Vendetta that I just gained, which wasted a whole bunch of my allies. Alright, and now we got 2 play cards and a vanquish action. So, I am going to play Nefaria Family Soldiers. And I'm going to get rid of the Hatut Saraze, and I'm going to choose that to be a Vendetta. I get another Vendetta action. Or another Vendetta, I mean. So I'm at 2 now. And... well, actually, I could have done that a little bit differently. But you know what? I'm fine. Think that's pretty much all I can do, but all right, we're gonna go back to Doc Ock, over to Doc Ock now. Okay, Doc Ock, what do you got going on right now? Okay, oh, forgot a card. So we got Master Planner, which I got back with this plan is foolproof. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. It's been like a week since I played. I played, so we're getting close to Master of Atomic Power, but we're not quite there yet. So I'm gonna go Research Center. I am going to spend 2 to play Sandman to the Research Center after gaining 3. I also have an Activate here, but there is nothing I can actually activate. And then I only got 1 power left. So I think I'm just going to keep that, and I'm going to keep these cards in my hand. We get some more lab equipment. All right, back over to Killmonger. What is Killmonger going to do? So Killmonger currently does have the control to mine, so he can activate the thing to relocate explosives. One second. Get my chair over. Let's see here. Okay, so he does have weapons cache, which he doesn't really need. He also doesn't need Knight, unless Black Panther comes back, which I think is extremely unlikely. There is a couple cards in the Fate deck that can, like one card specifically that has 2 copies that can bring him back. I think what I'm going to do, though, is I'm just straight up going to go to the Golden City and gain... Oh, wait, no, I need 2 to activate it. That's the problem. I see that's the problem. I'm just gonna place explosives down to the Golden City, and guess I'm gonna have to start getting some power then. Can't activate anything else. I can Fate, which I might as well do, so we're going to draw back up, and then we're going to do that Fate action. He draws a Killmonger's Fury. What do I get? Jasper Sitwell, when played, find a card with Iron Man in its name and play that card to this location. If defeated by Madame Masque, she gains no power or vendetta. Well, Madame Masque just simply can't win the game if Tony Stark Iron Man's on our board. So I'm going to play him here, and Iron Man's going to go here. This is pretty much the worst card for Madame Masque, because not only does he bring out Iron Man, but like she gets nothing out of it, out of him after she takes him out. Okay. It's taking a minute to find Tony Stark here. Alright, there he is. Tony Stark Iron Man gains +5 strength when in Madame Masque's domain. Madame Masque cannot win the game if Tony Stark is in her domain. Of course, there's also other means to getting rid of Tony Stark. Like her escape plan card, I think it's called. But I don't think I currently have one of those in my hand. And if I do, I'll probably end up playing it. Alright. Here's his 5 strength. Go. That was the end of Killmonger's turn. Now it's back to Madame Masque. She does not have that escape plan card. I'm going to go to the Nefaria family castle. I'm going to spend 1 to play some thugs. And then I am going to... I'm going to Fate. And I pulled Daredevil. Heroes cannot be relocated from Daredevil's location. I'm going to place him at the Golden City, covering up one of Killmonger's activate actions. Okay. I don't really want to get rid of the leaders yet. I could also just... I think I can get them back, though. I don't remember what all of her cards do. I'm going to spend 3 to play No Mercy. Or, actually, no. Yeah. No Mercy. Gain a vanquish action. The hero defeated by this vanquish action counts as a contract and Madame Masque's vendetta. So that's 1. And I get my 3 power back out of that. So I am currently at 3 vendetta. These guys are gone. And I think... yeah, that's pretty much all I can do. So we're going to draw back up. Decoys. Oh yeah, these are the good ones. And Count Nefaria. Real cards in the Fate deck until you reveal a hero. When you play that hero to Count Nefaria's location. Alright. Over to Doc Ock now. Doc Ock being kind of left unattended here. It's kind of just Madame Masque trying to gain her vendettas and also trying to stop Killmonger, but Doc Ock has not started really winning yet. I'm going to move here, gain 2. I'm going to spend 1 to play some lab equipment. And then I'm going to complete my first scheme, the Master of Atomic Power. During your turn, if there is at least 1 item at each of your locations and no heroes in your domain, you play Master of Atomic Power and complete this scheme. That's 1 of Doc Ock's 5 schemes done. And he's going to Fate just for the hell of it. See if he could do something to Killmonger. He can! Wakanda Forever. Find Black Panther and either play or relocate him to Killmonger's domain. If Black Panther is already in play, place a +1 strength token on him. Alright. Where does it say play him? Alright, I'm going to play him to probably Killmonger's worst location for Black Panther to be, which is at the Institute of Technology, where he can gain 3 power. Black Panther gains +2 strength. The Control the Mines tile is flipped back over to the Mines Are Lost. That's really good. Stalled Killmonger for just a little bit longer. And I'm going to draw back up. We draw Always Inventing. Choose up to 3 cards from your discard pile and shuffle them back into your deck. And Revenge on Spider-Man. During your turn, if you defeat any Spider-Man hero, you may play Revenge on Spider-Man, pay power equal to that hero's strength, and complete this scheme. That's probably the one scheme I never complete. I know it's probably like his most thematic one, but it's just, you know, there's one scheme that involves you defeating any hero other than Spider-Man, and there's one scheme that involves you defeating Spider-Man and getting literally just like trying to find that one Spider-Man hero is kind of difficult. Alright, well, that sucks for Killmonger. He's going to go to the Institute of Technology. He's going to gain 3. He's going to spend 3 to play Knight. And that's going to be Killmonger's turn. He draws another Explosives card. And we are instantly back over to Madame Masque's domain. Okay. So we still got Iron Man to worry about. So let's go to Hell's Kitchen. So I can gain 2 power if I activate my Vendetta. I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to spend 2 to play Count Nefaria to the Magia Casino ship. And I do have a discard here, yes. I'm going to discard on the run, or the hunt. I'm going to keep decoy instead of trap, and I'm going to draw back up. Dreadnoughts. Play attach Dreadnoughts to a hero in another player's domain. The hero loses 2 strength when defeated by any villain, counts as a contract for Madame Masque. And we get some more thugs. Alright, back over to Doc Ock now, who's still existing. Let's see here. I'm going to go over to the Atomic Research Center. I'm going to gain 3. I'm going to spend 1 to play Always Inventing, just to see what I can put back into my deck. I'm going to put these guys, what is it, up to 3 cards? Yeah. I'm going to put Genius Scientist and Hobgoblin back. Since I do like Hobgoblin. I actually like him more than Green Goblin, like in terms of design. Not in terms of character, but in terms of design, definitely. Alright. So that was one of my play card actions. Then I might as well spend 2 to play No One Stops Dr. Octopus, and I can activate it to gain power equal to the number of completed schemes, so I'll just activate that now to gain 1 power. Why not? I could play the Master Planner scheme, but do I want to risk losing Sandman? I don't think I want to risk losing Sandman right now, because of this scheme right here, Sinister 6. And we get Tentacles, which acts as the Raven from Maleficent's deck. You move it to a different location at the beginning of your turn before you move, and it does an action at its location. Alright, Killmonger's turn. Oh my, what can Killmonger do? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply go to the Golden City. I'm going to gain 2 and Fate. That's all I can do there, but this is the money Killmonger needs right now. Well, I got Armless. Remove an ally or villain item from any domain and shuffle it back into that villain's deck. Now, this is the card you would want to use to get rid of the Dr. Octopus's tentacles. I'm going to choose Sandman. I'm going to shuffle Sandman back in the Dr. Octopus's deck. Alright. And that is Killmonger's turn. So we are going back over to Madame Masque. Now let's see what we can do this turn, which probably isn't much. I am going to go to Nefaria Castle. I am going to spend 1 to play some thugs to Hell's Kitchen. I'm going to Fate, see what I get. Captain America Steve Rogers. When Captain America Steve Rogers is defeated, reveal cards from the top of the Fate deck until you find the targeted Fate card for the villain who's defeated. Captain America Steve Rogers then plays the card on that villain. Or who defeated Captain America, then play the card on that villain. Okay. Think I'm going to give Dr. Octopus some trouble. I'm going to cover up his action at the Empire State University, his gain 2, because why would we want him to have money, right? Then I'm going to spend 2. I'm going to play with fire a little bit. I'm going to spend 2 power and attach a Dreadnoughts to Black Panther. He's going to get -2 strength, but I'm going to get some good money out of that. And then I'm going to draw back up. We get some soldiers and escape plan. Okay, escape plan's always nice. What does that card cost? Nothing. It doesn't cost anything. Cool. Alright. Over to Doc Ock now. That pesky Captain America's just in his way a little bit. Alright. I will move. I'll move to the Hidden Laboratory. I'll gain 1. I'm going to discard this scheme, the Revenge on Spider-Man scheme. Gain 1. I'm going to spend 4 to play Tentacles. I'll play Tentacles to the Hidden Laboratory, because why not? And I'll activate. No one stops Dr. Octopus just to gain 1. I have a Fate action. I'm going to use it. Prisoner's Shield, remove an ally with the highest current strength from the targeted villain's domain. I'm going to choose Black Panther. Get rid of Knight. Knight is not going to be used. And you're going to draw back up Master Planner's Henchman and Hobgoblin. Interesting. Alright. Over to Killmonger now. I'm just going to bring this cauldron over here. Cauldron over here. This vault, they call it. Okay. Well, unfortunately, that sucks. Oh, but Killmonger still can get rid of them by going over here, gaining 3, and spending 2 to play Killmonger's Fury. Get rid of Black Panther. That does count as a contract towards Madame Masque, so Madame Masque is going to get paid a pretty penny for all that killing that Killmonger's doing. Okay, Madame Masque has received the 4 power. Alright. So now Killmonger has 1 more play card action. I'm going to use that to play Execute Plan to perform an activate action. We do have the mines back. And I'm going to pay 2 power to relocate explosives to another player's domain. So, explosives, I'm going to relocate them over to... I'm going to move it to the Magia Casino ship. Killmonger's domain, his explosives will obviously disappear when he does win. He gets Rage of Killaluna, I think is how you say it. Before moving your villain, you may discard a card from your hand to find Killmonger's Fury and add it to your hand. So that's a really good early game card. And he just draws Killmonger's Fury again. He's very furious. Alright, back over to Madame Masque, who's still at 3 out of 8 vendettas. Not looking too good, but it's not looking too great for Doc Ock either. So, okay. I'm going to move to the Nefaria Family Thugs location to gain 1 power. Actually, I gained 2 because of the Call Me Big M specialty. Can't forget that. No, I gained 3. Yeah. I gained 2 extra. That's 3 power for me. And then I am going to play Escape Plan to get Tony Stark out of here. And he can go to... He's going to go to the other location that Killmonger has an activate action at, the Great Mound. However, he is still staying. He is going to stay at just 1 strength now. He is no longer 6 strength. He's just exploring the caves or something. All right. And then I'm going to activate Count Nefario for 2 power. Okay, so what did I do? I played a card. I didn't discard anything. Do I want to discard anything? I'm going to discard Setting a Trap. I don't think I really need that right now. I've come to the decision. Okay. All that's left to do is activate. Okay. What is that? Reveal cards from a Fate deck to you. Reveal a hero. Play that hero to Count Nefaria's location. Doctor Strange. When Doctor Strange is played, look at the top 6 cards of the targeted player's villain deck. Discard any of those cards and return the rest to the top of the villain deck in any order. Okay, so I can do that on myself, right? So I could look at the top 6 cards, discard any of those cards, and return the rest to the top of the deck in any order. Alright, we got No Mercy, Payday. We're going to get rid of Payday. Decoys, On the Hunt. We're going to get rid of On the Hunt. Line of Sight could be really good. And No Mercy. Alright, I'm going to keep Line of Sight on top. Decoy. No Mercy, No Mercy. There we go. Okay, got my hand here. And then I'm going to move Count Nefaria to the Nefaria Castle. Because I don't like the fact that Killmonger's there. Alright. So we draw a Line of Sight and Decoy, of course. And we are going to go over to Doc Ock's board. Captain America's still here, unfortunately. I'm going to go over to the Atomic Research Center. I'm going to gain 3. I'm going to spend 1 to play some Master Planner's Henchmen. Oh, crap. No, I'm going to move the tentacles first. Can't forget that. You know, we all make mistakes. Let's just say I moved the tentacles first. Move the tentacles first. And I'm going to use that to gain 3. And I'm going to move here and also gain 3. Okay. And of course, Villainous won't be the only board game I play. It's probably just going to be the main one I play. Then I'm going to spend 1 to play Master Planner's Henchmen. When Master Planner's Henchmen are played, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. You may discard any number of them. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we get more Master Planner's Henchmen. This plan is foolproof. I'm actually going to get rid of both of these. And I got a plan. I am going to play the Master Planner. Since I know that the top card is guaranteed to be a Master Planner's Henchman, you may play the Master... Remove that ally. Reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. If you reveal 2 or more allies, you complete the scheme. Master Planner's Henchman. Let them try to defeat me. Mysterio. Electro. And Vulture. Okay, so we're finally getting the Sinister Six in here. Soon. Definitely soon. But we do end up completing the scheme. We got our second scheme completed. The Master Planner. And because we did that, I'm going to activate lab equipment to gain power equal to the number of schemes completed, which would be 2. Money. I'm going to draw back up. We get the Let Them Try to Defeat Me. Pay X power, reveal that number of cards from the top of the Fate deck. You may play 1 revealed hero to Dr. Octopus's location. We get more Master Planner's Henchmen, of course. And now we are back over to Killmonger. He was just so close to winning at this point. Alright. What do I get here? I'm just going to go here. I'm going to gain 2 and Fate. That's pretty much all you can do when both these locations are blocked and you're out of power. Okay, what does Killmonger get? Killmonger draws End of Time. Okay. Villains cannot perform more than 3 actions on their turn. For each of your allies, the reward is for each of your allies at the event, gain either 1 power, draw 1 card, or place a +1 strength token on an ally. Alright, that's Killmonger's turn. He just played a global event. We got to remember, nobody can perform more than 3 actions on their turn. That's probably going to hurt specifically Dr. Octopus. Probably the most, I think. It's definitely going to hurt Doc Ock the most. Alright. I am going to move to the Nefaria Castle. Going to spend 3 to place a decoy down. Here. And then I'm going to spend 3. Well, first I'm going to fade. I got a Koye. When a Koye... Oh, wait. No, if I fade, then I... Yeah. Oh, wait. No, yeah, I can. Okoye. When Okoye is played, find Dora Milaje, then play that card to the same location as Okoye. Okoye is going to go to where Tony Stark Iron Man is at, and I have to find a Dora Milaje card and play them to the same location. Okay, let's find a Dora Milaje card. That's the bean here somewhere. Here we are. They get Protector. Well, maybe putting... Okay, we're gonna change. I didn't realize I got Protector. Okay, we're gonna probably change then where we're putting a Koye. That doesn't match with my strategy. I'm gonna put a Koye to the Institute of Technology. And her Dormilogity can be placed there. Make Killmonger work for it. Then I'm going to spend 3 to play Line of Sight. Gain a Vanquish action. You may target any hero in any domain other than Mana Masque with this Vanquish action. I think the End of Time event only counts towards actions on, like... Because that's, like, really weird rules. How about this? And I think that might count as an action. I'm going to take my 3 power back, and I'm just going to ignore the fact that I ever played this decoy. I think that'll work. Okay, Line of Sight. Target a hero in another domain other than Mana Masque with this Vanquish action. Going to choose Tony Stark. Take him out. Use that as a vendetta. We now got 4 of our 8 vendettas. And that is it. We draw back up. We get a No Mercy card. Alright, back over to Doc Ock. Not much the Tentacles can do this turn. I think I'm going to move them... over to the Empire State University. I'm going to use them to use that Activate action there to gain 2 because of the number of completed schemes. I shall go to the Hidden Laboratory. I'm going to spend 1 to play Master Planner's Henchman. Okay, reveal the top 3, discard any of them. We got Vulture, Electro, and Mysterio. I don't want to get rid of any of these guys, so they're going right back. And then I can only do 1 more action. Do I fade, discard, or gain 1 power? I think I'm going to discard the Let Them Try to Defeat Me card. And draw back up. Okay, we grab Mysterio and Electro. Mysterio being one of my favorite allies. Relocate 1 hero at this location to any other villain's domain. And Electro, all heroes at his location get -1 strength. Alright, back over to Killmonger. Who, note, can still only do 3 actions. Okay. My tripod's being a little wonky. Alright. Killmonger's going to go to the Institute of Technology, gain 3. He is going to spend 2 to play an Explosives down to the Institute of Technology, and that'll be it for him. Killmonger's taking quick turns here, but every turn he is getting closer and even closer to winning. Alright. Over to Mana Masque. Don't know what to do. I'm going to go to Manhattan. I'm going to play some soldiers down for 1. Before I play them, actually, I'm going to activate my Vendetta to... It's at 4 now, so I gain 1 power and a villain card. So gain 1 power, draw a villain card. Okay, I gained No Mercy again. I'm going to spend 1 to play these guys here. And then I'm going to discard 2 of my decoys, unfortunately. Because I'm about to be at the end of my deck, so might as well discard a No Mercy card too. I'm trying to get as many allies as possible right now. 1, 2, 3. She has 1 card left in her deck. line of sight, decoy, and some more soldiers. Alright. Over to Doc Ock now. I'm not going to move his arms. I'm going to go to the Atomic Research Center. I'm not gaining 3. I'm just going to spend 5 power because I'm playing Mysterio I'll play him to the Hidden Laboratory. It has to be at his location. So I actually might want to play him to a location with, where some heroes might be. So I think I'll place him here. And then I'll place Electro here. Heroes at his location get -1 strength. So there goes Cap. Okay. That was 2 of my actions. I'll just use my last action to spend 3 and play Hobgoblin to the Hidden Laboratory, because why not? Try to get all my allies out. Okay, we draw Vulture, control the Underworld, and taking what I want. Alright. Back over here to Killmonger. He is going to go to the Great Mound and spend 2 to activate Control the Mines to move explosives to another player's board and win. Not really going to choose which location, doesn't really matter. Alright. So these cards are all discarded. There is no Black Panther cards anywhere out on the board. Or fake cards, I mean. No Black Panther fake cards. So Killmonger is the first winner, which was to be expected. He had an amazing start. Killmonger could definitely hit the ground running, for sure. I think probably the best character to counter Killmonger. I don't really think Killmonger ever wins against Hela. Because Hela has that specialty where she can literally just bring back Black Panther every turn, and Killmonger will never get a chance to breathe. Alright, so boom, there we go. That's Killmonger being our first winner of the day. Alright, back over to Masque now. Now we just got to switch between these two. I'm going to roll my chair over here. Because now I can pretty much just sit down for the rest of this video. I just got to make sure I'm moving the tripod the correct way. Alright. Masque is going to go... She's going to go over to Nefaria Castle. I'm going to spend 1 to play some soldiers. And then I'm going to spend... I'm going to spend 3 to play No Mercy. So Doctor Strange counts as a Vendetta and a contract. So I'm at 5 Vendetta now. And I also gain my 4 power back out of that. That is all of my actions. Oh, wait, this Killmonger card is supposed to be gone. How about that? That's all she can do. The Doctor Strange has been defeated. The Sorcerer Supreme has said bye-bye. Alright, Dreadnoughts is the last card we draw, and we get to reshuffle Madame Masque's deck. Dr. Octopus might be in a tough spot right now. If Madame Masque can somehow manage to sufficiently balance only having 3 actions every turn, Doc Ock might not be able to pull this through. But only time will tell. It's a 1v1 right now, and 1v1s aren't the most fun thing in Villainous, but I'm playing 2 very fun characters, so. Alright, well, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the undersea base. I'm going to spend 2 to play Vulture. That's all the power I got. And then I'm going to complete the Sinister Six, because I have at least 5 allies in my domain and at least 1 ally at each location. So I have Master Planner's Henchman and Mysterio here, Vulture, Hobgoblin, Electro, that's 5, 1 at each location. Boom. Then, playing these schemes don't cost actions. But even if they do, this would be the last thing I'm doing anyway. I'm going to play taking what I'm going to vanquish. I'm actually going to play taking what I yeah, I'm going to vanquish Captain America. However, that does do something. I'm going to vanquish him with Electro. That does do something. Reveal cards from the top of the Fate deck until you find a targeted Fate card for the villain who defeated Captain America Steve Rogers and play it on that villain. Okay, so Madam Masque is going to be playing this. We got Everett K. Ross. Iron Man Invincible. When you perform an activate action, if Iron Man Invincible is in your domain, you must immediately discard a random card from your hand. Oof. Alright. And I'm going to play him here. Just try to keep that power locked up. So Captain America went down, and Iron Man came in to try to save the day. Okay. Reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. If the total cost is greater than that hero's strength, complete the scheme. So Captain America's strength was 4. Okay, we get 2, 1, 5, 6. Yeah, so we definitely complete this scheme. That is 4 of the 5 schemes completed, however. Alright. So that was all of my actions. We're going to draw back up now. Genius Scientist, Sandman, and Master Planner's Henchman. Alright. Vulture. Definitely the hidden gem in Dr. Octopus's deck. He's really good. You play any card from your discard pile literally for free. It can be a non-scheme card, but you need to play non-scheme cards to complete the schemes, so. And you get to play them for free on top of that, so you can also play some expensive cards like the Tentacles, if they so happen to get discarded. Alright. Yeah, now Madame Masque seems to be in a bit of a tough spot. Also, I didn't draw back up with her last turn. I dropped Heyday. Okay. I'm going to go to Hell's Kitchen. I'm going to activate my Vendetta to gain 1 power and 1 villain card. And then I'm going to discard 3 cards and spend 1 to play some Nefaria family soldiers to Nefaria Castle. And that will be it. Escape Plan, Tools for Trade, and Nefaria family thugs. Alright. We're here now. Back to Doc Ock, whose board is looking a mess right now. I'm going to move the Tentacles over here to the Atomic Research Center to gain 3. And I shall move to the Atomic Research Center to gain 3. And then I'm going to activate my specialty to gain power equal to the number of completed schemes, which is 4. However, Iron Man is in my domain, so I must immediately discard a random card from my hand. Hopefully it's not going to be, the scheme that I'm trying to complete right now. So I got my dice over here. Okay, so roll a 1 to 4. Boom. I roll a 3. What do I get rid of? Genius Scientist. Okay, that is not that bad. That was actually probably the last card we wanted to keep. So that was probably the only card I was going to discard next turn. Perfect. Okay. Well, I'm going to go over to Hell's Kitchen. Or Madame Masque's domain, I mean. I'm going to go over to Nefaria Castle. I'm going to Fate as my first action. Everett K. Ross. Not going to play him. That's a Killmonger card. We get Silk. When Silk is played, relocate any character in her domain to her location. I pretty much have to do that, so I'm just going to play her here. And let's see here. Any character. I could just relocate Vulture, I don't know. Doc Ock's placement isn't really all that important. That's one action. Then I'm going to spend 3 to play a Line of Sight to get another Vanquish action, which will be my third action, to get a Vendetta kill on Silk from way over here with these guys. That is my turn. And let's see here. I wonder if there's any way. Let's see here. I'm going to move the tentacles over to the lab equipment. So, I'm going to move the tentacles over to the Empire State University and activate them. I am going to have to discard a random card from my hand. Yeah, maybe doing that's not such a good idea. I'm going to move the tentacles here, actually, and I'm going to use that to use the relocate action there. I'm going to move Mysterio over. I will then... I'm going to use it to relocate Hobgoblin over. No, he doesn't even have enough strength. I'll use them to relocate Mysterio over. I will... Okay, so that's one action already. And they can only take 3. I'm just going to move to the hidden laboratory. I'm going to activate... No, because if I activate, I'm going to lose power. Or I might lose my scheme. So I'm just going to gain 1 in fate. See what I get. Hot Touch Razi. Nope. Draw another one. Nope. Spider-Woman. Jessica Drew. Allies cannot be relocated from this location. I'm going to play her to Hell's Kitchen. Alright. And we draw back up. We get Kraven the Hunter. And we are back over here to Madame Masque's board, which is looking pretty grim right now. So right now I would prefer... I'm going to move over to Manhattan. I'm going to move Count the Fairy over. I'm going to take a Vendetta Vanquish action against her. That puts me at 7. Nice 7. And then I got 1 action left. I guess I'll just play Escape Plan to move Jasper Sitwell over to Doc Ock's board. I'm going to move him over. I'm going to play him to the Atomic Research Center. And then I draw back up. And I draw No Mercy. Alright. Madame Masque is really close. But can she win against Doc Ock? That is the question. Seven, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 power. Dang, that's crazy. Okay, what's the way I can do this, huh? This is difficult for sure. If the tentacles weren't right there, I could perform a vanquish action. Alright, I'm going to move the tentacles over, perform an activate action for Mysterio, pay 2 power to move Iron Man somewhere. I'm going to move him to the Maggio Casino ship. No, I'm actually going to put him at the Nefaria Castle. So that's one action. Don't have enough money right now. I'm going to move over here and vanquish him with the Master Planner's Henchman. Then I'm going to activate lab equipment to gain 4 power, and it doesn't count as an action to play him, right? I can literally just I can literally just put him out of my hand if I can complete that scheme, right? I'm going to double check. This event is confusing. Okay, does it say anything about schemes in here, or do I have to get his villain guide out? Feet, move. Specialties. Nope, don't think it says anything about that at all. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to get his instruction booklet out. Alright. Scheme cards are played directly from your hand like effect cards. When the criteria of the card is met, you cannot play a scheme card directly from the discard pile. You may discard schemes in your hand as you would any other card. Schemes do not need a play a card action to play. They do not cost an action to play. Yeah. So yeah, I can do this. So I can vanquish him, activate this. That's my 3 actions. And then I can spend my 10 power. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to play Controller of the Underworld. During your turn, if you have no heroes in your domain, you may play Control of the Underworld, pay 10 power to complete this scheme. And with that, Dr. Octopus has taken the 2nd place victory, the silver medal. Oh, Masque, what a fun game with Masque. She got so close. But this is the end of round 1 of the Marvel Villainous tournament. We are going to start round 2, going into the next set of matches, which will consist of 4 matches, of course. Just, they're going to be 1v1 matches, so they're going to be shorter and probably easier to film as well. Okay, so the matchups we got, the matches we got lined up are Killmonger versus Doc Ock, Venom versus Loki, Taskmaster versus MODOK, Ultron versus Kang. Yes, that will be the turn order these guys go in. And then I'll take the one winner from each of these matches, and then all 4 of them will go up against each other. And then the 3, and then the 2, and then that just leaves the 1. So that 4-player match will be our biggest match from this tournament. And let's see. Roll 1 to 4 to see what the next match I play is, and that's going to be a 3 again. The next match is going to be Taskmaster versus MODOK. Just like the first match of round 1 was Taskmaster versus MODOK versus Titania, the first match of round 2 is going to be Taskmaster versus MODOK. Funny how that worked out there. But thank you everybody so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.